Okay, so let's be real. We're drowning in choices, right? How does anything get noticed anymore? Well, that's exactly the question Seth Godin tackles in his game-changing book, Purple Cow. So today, we're going to break down his big idea for how you can actually stand out in this crazy, crowded world.
All right, to really get this, I want you to come on a little road trip with me. Just picture it. You're driving through the French countryside. It's beautiful, right? Rolling hills, picturesque pastures everywhere you look. And for the first, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes, it's just magical. You're literally pointing out the window like, look at that cow. Oh, and that one. It's like something out of a storybook. It's new, it's amazing, it's a totally wonderful sight. But then you keep driving. And after a while, the magic just fades. The 100th cow looks exactly like the first one. What once was so incredible is now just normal, commonplace. And then it gets boring. You stop even looking out the window. And that right there, that's the huge problem facing pretty much every business out there today. But what if, in the middle of that sea of normal brown cows, you suddenly saw a purple one? Whoa! You'd slam on the brakes, right? You'd pull over, take a picture, you'd call your friends, you would talk about it for days. And that is a purple cow. It's something so remarkable, so completely new and interesting that it forces you to pay attention. Everything else? It's just another invisible, boring brown cow. The thing is, the world we live in now has basically become one gigantic field of brown cows. So let's dig into why that is.
I mean, just think about your own day-to-day. You have way too many choices for everything and not nearly enough time. So what do? You tune it all out, you ignore the ads, you delete the emails, you scroll right past the new products. And honestly, if you're already satisfied with the phone you have or the coffee you drink, why on earth would you waste time looking for something different? So, this new reality we're all living in, it means the old playbook for business is totally, completely broken. Let's take a look at the old engine that used to make everything run. So for like 50 years, there was this magic formula. Seth Godin calls it the TV industrial complex. Here's how it worked. A company would create a safe, pretty average product, nothing too exciting. Then they'd pour a ton of money into TV ads. Those ads would convince stores to put the product on their shelves, which would lead to sales. And those sales gave them the profit to buy, you guessed it, even more TV ads. And this loop, as simple as it sounds, was incredibly powerful. It's how massive brands like Tide, Crest, and Coca-Cola were built. You know that phrase, as seen on TV? That used to be a seal of approval. If a company could afford all those ads, they had to be good. It was this perfect, self-fueling machine for growth.
Yeah, well, that's over. It's done. That entire economic engine has just ground to a halt. And why? Simple. You and me, the consumers, we stopped watching the ads. The fuel that powered that whole system, it's gone. Okay, so if that engine is dead, what's next? How on earth does a business grow now? Well, the answer is simple, but it's not easy. You have to stop making average, boring products, and you have to start creating purple cows. This is the big shift, the fundamental change in thinking. The old rule was all about creating safe, ordinary products and then just throwing a ton of marketing money at them. The new rule? You have to build the remarkable part directly into the product itself. That way, the right people will actively seek it out and do the marketing for you by talking about it. And you can really see the difference side by side. The TV industrial age was all about being average, advertising to everyone, and being terrified of failure. The post-TV age, where we are now, is about being remarkable, targeting the true believers, and realizing that the real fear should be the fear of being boring. Let me give you a perfect example. The original VW Beetle. That was a classic TV industrial complex product. You know, it was a solid car, but it became a huge success because of one of the most clever ad campaigns in history. But the new Beetle that came out in the 90s, that was a totally different story. It was a monster hit because the car itself was the marketing. That unique, funky, remarkable design made people stop and stare and talk. It was a genuine purple cow on 4 wheels. All right, so let's say you did it. You created a purple cow. Now what? How do you get the word out? Well, here's the counterintuitive part. You absolutely do not market it to everybody. See, new ideas don't just explode into the mainstream. They spread along a curve in predictable stages. They always start with the real risk takers, the people we call innovators and early adopters. Only after they're on board does an idea even have a chance of reaching the majority.
So what does that mean for you? It means you have to ignore that huge, juicy-looking middle of the curve. I know, it sounds crazy, but your marketing has to be laser-focused on those passionate, influential folks way over on the left. Why? Because they're the only ones who are actively looking for something new and interesting. Look, it's so tempting to want to appeal to everyone, but it's a total waste of time and money. The vast majority of people, the mainstream, they aren't looking for you. They don't care about your new thing. In fact, they will go out of their way to ignore you. The only time they'll pay attention is when their cool trendsetter friends, those early adopters, tell them, hey, you have to check this out. Godin has a great name for these people: sneezers. Think about it. They're the ones who catch the idea virus and then sneeze it all over everyone they know, spreading it far and wide. Your entire job then is to create a product or an idea that is so remarkable that these sneezers can't help but talk about it. Okay, this all makes sense, right? Being remarkable seems like the only strategy that actually works anymore. So why isn't everybody doing it? I mean, why is the world still so full of boring, brown cow products? Why are so many companies still trying to play by these old, broken rules? The answer is actually really simple, and it's deeply, deeply human. It's fear, plain and simple. It's the fear of being criticized, the fear of what happens when you actually stand out from the crowd, the fear of failing. Think about it. From the time we're kids in school, we're taught to fit in, to color inside the lines. And being truly remarkable, by definition, means that some people are not going to like it. And for most of us, that's a terrifying thought. But here's the huge mindset shift we all need to make. In this crowded marketplace, fitting in is failing. Playing it safe is the failure. Creating something boring that nobody dislikes is the exact same thing as being invisible. And if you're invisible, well, you might as well not even exist. So if you take one thing away from this, let it be this. The riskiest thing you can possibly do right now is be safe. The greatest risk is not taking a risk. Being boring is a one-way ticket to failure. Being remarkable, that's your only shot. And so that leaves us with just one last question, and this one's for you. In your work, in your career, on your very next project, what are you going to do that's actually worth remarking on? What is your purple cow gonna be?